Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Are
Yes,
you
sir.
able to see the screen?
Visible, sir.
Okay. So once again, good afternoon. So this is the video lecture on Python Django full stack web development. So full stack web development will consist of both front end and back end. So as you all gone through previous lectures, we have seen front end. So front end part, we have understood the basic HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. So now we come on to the backend part. So under the full stack, we have seen the front end development. Now you come for the backend part, the language, what you are going to see. So in this particular backend thing, you are going to understand some of the basics of how to write the Python programming, again, along with a database connectivity. Okay, so that will constitute the backend part. Okay, under the full stack, the front part is HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. Under the background, under the backend, you will be having Python with a database connectivity. Okay, so in today's class, we are going to see some of the concepts of Python programming. Okay, so initially you come before getting into the concepts. So let's get into the introduction. So it was invented in 1980. It's one of the open source. So developed by Python Software Foundation. So it is a programming language as well as scripting language also. So it is object oriented and used by the Google from the beginning. So what are the applications of the Python? It is used for the GUI support, and it is portable, it is integrated, and it can be dynamically typed language. Okay, so what can be done using Python? That means using this Python language, what are all the applications? So where you come across using the Python? So first you come with a data analysis and plotting. So data analysis means, so if you have gone through machine learning concept or machine learning subject, so you would have understood what is data analysis and what is plotting. So that you will see in the next coming classes. So this language is used for website programming, as it is Python is also working as a scripting language. So similar to Java, so we can use it, the Python as a script language. So apart from that, it is used for the database programming, natural language processing, and image processing, games, and artificial intelligence, etc. So these are the applications where you come across the Python. Okay, so now you come for IDE. So IDE means where you type and run your Python programs or Python projects. Okay, so first one, we are going to execute the Python program in idle. Next one of the software is PyCharm. The other one is, as you all come across the word Atom. So Atom is the text editor which is supported for web pages. So this Atom will also run a particular Python files. Okay. So next is the Visual Studio and Visual Editor. Okay. So Visual Editor, VIM, is used in the Linux operating system, whereas PyCharm, Atom, everything we have gone through in Windows operating system. So these are the environments where you execute your Python programs. So where you will be executing your Python programs, one is idle, second PyCharm, next is Atom. Okay, so these are the IDEs. So come for the very important and first concept. So first concept is indentation. So what does the indentation mean? Okay, So white space at the beginning of the line is important. It is called as a indentation. If you come across any Python program, so indentation is the most general error what you will be getting when you execute the Python program. Okay, so indentation means if you come across if or else statement in Java, C, C++, you were having flower brackets. Okay, so if part you will be having flower brackets, for else part also you will be having flower brackets. But in Python language programming, you don't have any flower brackets. Okay, so everything will be represented using indentation. Okay, so I will tell you what this indentation when you type a program. Okay, so leading white spaces, that is spaces and tabs at the beginning, is used to determine the indentation level of the program. Do not use either use tab or you use spaces, but do not use a mixture of tab and spaces for indentation. So understand carefully. If you want space, you give one tab or you just press a space. Okay, so press the space bar, the space will be taken, or you can use tab, but don't use both the tab as well as spaces for giving the indentation. It is strongly recommended that use a single tab or 4 spaces. Keep in your mind what you can use. Either you can give it as a single tab or you can give it as 4 spaces. So that is been used for the indentation in Python programming. Okay, so that is the concept. Now for every example in this particular language, so you have to make use of execution of this particular examples. So first concept, variables. So as you all know, variable contains a value. Okay, so variable is the name or identifier that is associated with a value. So example, here we can take a variable f name and give a value which is a string value. This one is a integer value. This one is a floating type value. So for a variable is associated with the values. Okay, so we are giving the values of different data types: string data type, integer type, float type. And finally, to print the statement, you are taking it as print of all the variables. Okay. Yes, are you getting? Okay. So what is the first example we have seen? So make a note of this one, that is to be written and that should be executed. Okay. So we have taken different variables, 3 variables, and each one is having the value of different data types. So finally, to print all the values, you are giving it in using print function. Print of all the 3 variables you give, and you will get all these 3 values here as output. Okay, that is the first example. So you have to write, then you can type. Okay, I will tell you how to type the program where. So come for the input. There is a built-in function in Python for getting input from the user. So either you can give the input as a number or you can give it as a string. If you are giving as a string, you have to make use of input. Okay, input, and just you give the statement. Okay, so but if you are giving a input as an integer number, so here before the int, you have to give int here. Before the input, you add a statement called int, bracket open, input, enter the statement, close. Okay, so that is the input function you are going to use. For a string, you just simply take input. If you are giving a input as a number, so you can take it as int of input. Okay, so that is been stored in a variable and you are printing this particular statement here. So this one you take it as example 2. Okay, so next you come for the operators. So operator is a symbol that represents an operation that can be performed on one or more operands. So you can simply take a operator. So this is for print of -2, it will print -2 because you are taking -2. Okay. So print of 2 by 2. So 2 by 2, it will give 1. So similarly, these are the operators we are going to take. So 2 by 3, 2 mod 3. So 2 mod 3 will give you the remainder, whereas 2 star star 2 will give you the power. 2 power 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so try executing all these examples in the Google Colab. So I will tell you later how to run the program in Google Colab. So that is the operator. Now you come for the Boolean values. A Boolean value is either true or false. So in Python, the two Boolean values are true or false. So if you want this to represent it as Boolean, you can take type of true. So true is one of the value of which type? Boolean type. Similarly, you can take true or you can give it as true also. So Boolean values we have seen. Values can be Boolean values, or you can come with an expression also. So Boolean values, after that you come across expression. So Boolean expression is an expression that evaluates to produce a result which is a Boolean value. So when you get a Boolean value as a result, so here we will be giving an expression as a Boolean and it should give the result which is a Boolean value. Okay, so that means you are going to have the condition value should be true or false. So that first one we have taken 5 double equals 4. Okay, so double equals will check for the comparison operator. So is 5 double equals 4? Yes.
False.
False. So print, what will be the result you will be getting? You will be getting it as false. So come for here, 2 double equals 2.
True.
True. Okay. So finally, you come for this one. MSR double equals MS. So this is for integer. This one I am taking for string. Either both are equal.
No, sir. False.
It is false. What can be the reason for being false?
Sir, MSR double equal to MS
Huh.
and double quotes and single quotes, sir.
Okay. So here you are giving it as MSR, but here you are giving it as MS. So double quotes doesn't matter, but see the string value what you are giving. So you can give a string inside double quotes or string inside single quotes also. But here your content is MSR and here it is MS. So you will be getting it as false. Okay. So that is Boolean expression. So now you come for the next one. So conditional execution. So conditional statements. So which are the conditional statements we can see? So if is there, if is there, keep in your mind, you will be having if else as well as else if. Okay. So you may get so many programs on Python regarding if. Okay. So if means simple if will also come, if else will also come, else if ladder will also come. Okay, and similarly for the control flow, you will be having two loops. One is the while, the other one is for. Okay, so these are the control flow statements. So control flow statements, first one is if, then you come across for and while. So this is the simple example. Simplest form is the if statement. So, and what is the syntax for the if statement? So if expression, so it can be Boolean expression or it can be relational expression, but result should be Boolean value. Keep in your mind. So whatever you give the expression, so expression for the if, so the result should be either if condition true or condition false. So that means it should be in the terms of Boolean expression. So if you didn't give else part, simply give statement 1. So that means if the condition is true, statement 1 will be executed. Or if you take else part, if condition is false, the statement 2 will be executed. Okay. So chained conditionals. So we have seen if else. Now you come for the else if. Okay. So this is the simple program we have taken. So that means take the marks as the input and print the grade. Okay. So first we have taken the marks as the input, as marks is one of the value of integer type. So how to give the value? Say, take the same input statement, but before that, before the input, you add the word integer. If it is a string, no need, just you give input, enter your name. If you are entering the name, no need of int. If you are entering the marks, you have to give it as int here. Okay. So for integer variables, input will come with int. Okay. So input is taken and I have given the conditions. If marks is greater than 39 and less than 50, this grade, else if. So else if, there is no else if here. In Python programming, we call it as elif. Okay. So elif, marks is greater than and less than, this is the condition. Else, marks greater than, less than, this is the condition. And finally, you come for the else. So keep in your mind, when you are using if, there should be a colon here. Okay. So if you are using if here, there should be a colon. Similarly, for the for also, there will be a colon. Okay. So finally, else part, you are having the colon here followed with a print statement. Okay. So this is called as a chained conditional statements. So that is using if. This is the program syntax we have gone through. And here you have come across if and you have come across else and also elif part. Okay. So if, else, elif, everything is been discussed in this particular example only. So now you come for the while. So what the if will do? So see the differences. If condition is true, the statement will be executed only once. If the condition is false, the else part will be executed only once. But when you come for the while and for or do while, so if the condition is true, the statements can be executed n number of times depending on condition. Okay. So that is the difference between conditional statements and flow, control flow statements. So under conditional, if condition is true, statement is executed only once. If the condition here, if the condition is true, the statement will be executed for n number of times. So that is the difference of if and while. Okay. So take the, this is the program syntax we have taken. While expression colon block. You can have break or you can have continue also. Okay. So now I have written the program to find factorial of a number. So as you give the input as number, you should take it as int of input, enter the number value to find the factorial. So, and I have taken the output variable fact. So output variable is fact, is been given the value 1. Okay. So now my factorial function should keep on repeating until find the factorial until n. Okay. So I will be starting with 1 and it should end at n factorial. So how to calculate the factorial? You take fact star I. So that has been stored in the fact variable. This is the output variable. So I'm going to print the factorial of any number. Okay. So now you come for the different methods in Python. So every method in Python is enclosed with the brackets. Okay. So they are opened and closed parentheses will be given for every method. Okay, method is also called as function. So what should be there for a method? What is the symbol for method? Yes. Method or a function, whatever you take, both are same. What is the symbol used to represent the method? Opening. Okay, good. It is opening brackets and close brackets. Yes. Okay. So keep in your mind, this is the one of the concept you will be studying for each and everything. So range in Python. Okay. So range function has many versions. So you can take range of A or you can go with a range of A, B, K. Okay. So let's see what happens for each and everything. So if you give range of A, the first number is the A and B is called as a limit and K is called as a successive increase number. Okay. So I will see that thing, what you are going to get in the example part. So you see the example here for X in range of 55. So what type of example it is? So just you see range of 55. What is A? So under A, you are giving it as 55. So first number in the sequence. So that means you will be starting, you will be getting X value as 0 to 55. Keep in your mind, for X in range of 55, if you are printing the X, so what is the numbers you will be getting? It will range from 0 to 55. Similarly, what if you write it as I in range of 10, 20? So that means you'll be getting all the numbers in range of 10 to 20. 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 19, not 20. Start at 10, end at 19. So that is with one variable, get all the values from 0 to 55. For two variables in between 10 and 20, start at 10, end before 20. So come for the three variables. So here A is starting at 0, B, that is the last number you will be get, and increment by 5. So first value is 0. So 0 been added by 5. So next number is 5. Next 5 is been added with 5. Next number is 10 and 10 is been added with 5. So you'll be getting 15 and finally 20. Okay, that is the concept of range function. So range of single variable, print all the numbers up to variable. Range of two variables, starting number and end with a last number, you will be getting each and everything. So range with three parameters, print all the numbers from first to second upon increasing by a particular number. Okay. So similarly, that is the concept of range. So now we come across use of Python programming in looping statements. Okay. So if you are going with a looping statement, so how you are going to print? So here I have taken some names. This is the variable. Okay. So now I am going to search for a key element inside this particular names. Okay. So that means searching an element in the given array or given list. So how you search for a given element? There are two methods of searching. One is the linear search. Second one is binary search. So linear search, keep checking the key element with first element. That means keep in your mind, I am going to illustrate both the linear search and binary search. And you have to tell which search the program code it is. Okay. So I have taken the set of names, college names. I have taken these three examples. So now I will be entering the key element, key input, enter the college name. So I will be giving the college name as BMS. Okay. So take the college name as BMS for X in college name. So what do you mean by X? So set of elements inside the particular variable. Keep in your mind for X in C name. So how many values you are having in C names? How many values you have in C names?
3.
3. Okay. So this one we call it as X of 0. This one X of 1. This one X of 2. Okay. So for X in C names, so you have to go with each and every names. If key double equals X, what is the key element? I have taken the key element as BMS. If BMS double equals, what is the first X value? It is MSRIT. That is BMS double equals MSRIT? No. Condition false. If the condition is false, you have to go with the word continue. Now you come for the second element. What is the second X element? HKBK. So what is the key element? BMS. So is BMS double equals second element? No. Condition is false. Come for the else part. Go with a continue. Now you come for the third part. What is the X value now? BMS. So what is the key element? It is also BMS. BMS double equals BMS. So what type of search it is now? Can you name? There are two searches, linear search, binary. So under that, which is this search? Yes. Which is this search?
Linear search.
Linear search. Okay. So because for every key element, you are searching with the first element, keep on searching with the second element, search for the third element. So that means it is going in sequence. Okay. So that one we call it as a linear search. Okay. So if you are going with a binary search, so there should be a dividing the given array into 2. So is there anything dividing by 2? No, it is not there. So that's why you can take it as the program is for searching the element using linear search. Okay, so if the condition is true, the key is found in the list and set flag is equal to 1 and you have the break. So if you have break, it will come out of the loop. Okay, so that is the concept of Python for loop statements. So now you come for the nested loops and pass statement. Okay, so nested loops. So nested loops. So I have taken two things. So sub, under that you will be giving 3 values. Understood, you give the 3 values. So now you have to go with the nested loops. So print all the variables. So loop, nested loop, I am going to take for loop for X instead. How many X values you are having here? So here X1, X0, X1, X2, and for Y, Y0, Y1, Y2. So this is the loop, nested loop structure we are going to take for X instead, for Y in sub. Print of X comma Y. So what can be the output you can get? Yes, for X instead, what is the first X you are having? This is the value. For Y in sub, what is the first Y you are having? Print X comma Y. So what can be the output? Yes.
Nitilina data structure.
Only one output you will be getting?
No, sir. Next, Harini, comma, oops. Anjani, comma, DMS.
Only these 3? So keep in your mind, for each and every X, for each and every Y, so for X you have taken, what is the X first value? This is the value. For X, And for every y, you are going to print. For one x, Nithilan with DS, with OOPS, with DMS. So next, Harini with DS, OOPS, EMS. So it will be printed like this. Okay. So that is up to introduction part. Okay. So into my next classes, you will go with different data structures. Okay. So this is up to today's class. Now you go with execution. So how to type the particular program and how to execute. So for that one, connect your lab to the internet. So go for the google.com. So under the google.com, type Google Colab. So you are going to type Google Colab. So go to the welcome to the collaboratory, click on that. Okay. So if you first you should be log into your Gmail account. So keep in your mind, I have logged in into your Gmail account. First to log into your Gmail account. Next, you go for the Google and open this collaboratory, and you should get this particular your login details here. Okay, so your login details should be here. Now you go with a file and take new notebook. Keep in your mind, take it as new notebook. So if you give new notebook, so it will create a new notebook for you. Okay, so here I have taken the new Python notebook file. So before going to type your program, go with a word connect. So just click on connect. So if you click, it will be connected. So it is connecting here. So it is showing connected, and there is some disk space and the RAM speed is been allocated here. So now you save the file name, just click on here before the dot. Okay, so click before the dot. So take Python basics. So this is this notebook file will consist of only the Python basics. Save this particular thing. So now you go with your program. So start from variables. So from here is your variables. So just I'm copying here. Copy. Go with here. Control V. Okay. So before typing each and every program in your cell, so add a comment. Okay. So Python code to illustrate variables. So I'll be taking like this. And after you type your program, kindly press this play button. So here there is something error. So you are getting the output here. So when you press on this play button, you will be getting this particular thing. So after that, go with a new, click on the code cell. So it will get you the new code cell. Then I go with this particular program. So don't copy and paste, type the thing, then only just I'm showing you the illustration here. So give Control V. So here you see, here you are taking it as input. Enter your college name. So I'll be giving KIT, press enter. So you are getting it as KIT as the output. Okay. So this is the method how you work each and everything. So after this, go and take the new code cell. Take the next program. So go with a copy. So come for here and paste this and press print. So if you give -2, it will be -2, 2 by 2, 1.0, 3//3, you will get 1. So 2 by 2, it will show you in integer floating. If you give 3/3, you will get in integer. So 2 power, this is power 2, that will give you 4. Okay. So like this, you work on all the things. So take the new code cell, Control V, type of true. What is the type of the true? That means it will give what type of value it is. So true is one of the Boolean. Okay. So what happens if you give small t? So small of true. Small of true is not defined. Okay. So type of capital T, if you give, it will take you to the Boolean. Okay. So like this, you have to work on each and everything. So different conditions, no syntax. Take this particular program, copy this, and take the new code cell, Control V. Okay. So be very familiar with the indentation. So here you see expected and indent here. So I'll be giving click here, press 1 tab, click here, press 1 tab, press 1 tab, press 1 tab. Just you give 1 tab. So it is asking you for the marks. So I'll be giving it as 50. So if it is 50, it is showing us here you can see greater than 49, less than 60. What is the grade? D grade. So if you want the indentation, just you add 1 tab space. So that is more than enough. So like this, execute each and every statement up to nested loops and pass statements. And once you do each and everything, go with a file and you take it as a save. Okay. Save a copy in Drive, save a copy in GitHub. So many things are there. If you want, you can save it in the Drive, or you just click on save. So it will be saved. Okay. So once it is saved, you can open any notebook. So today's file I have created at 3 p.m. So this is the file. So many are there I have created. So kindly work by using this Google Colab. Okay. So understood how to execute the Python programs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for today's class, it will be up to here. So kindly go. I will be sending this PDF file. So go through all this, go through video lecture, type your programs and learn. If you have any doubts, feel free to contact me. Okay. So in tomorrow's class, we shall go with the next concept, Python data structures. So it will go with a list, tuples, set, dictionary. So many things are still there. We shall see in the next class. So thank you, one and all.